Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Test Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by Queen Regent, first of her name, Queen of the Andals.
Yeah,
Karen Targaryen.
I am in the house, and I absolutely love this wig. I'm not even gonna lie. It made me think back in the day when Salt and Pepper did Push It video. Mm-hmm. I actually got my hair cut like that. So this remind me of them days. Hey.
Well, of course, this is our House of the Dragon recap. You all know what to expect. You know we're gonna bring it. The finale of the season, of course. So there's lots to talk about, lots to discuss. I forgot to do this last week, but I need to play one of the House of the Dragon intros that we have. We ended up getting like 3 of them, and I'm forgetting which one was which, so I'm just about to play one of them, and we're gonna get our lives to it.
We back? It's the finale, baby. It's the recap. Fell 5 and Blackout Tips. We doing it again, nigga. That's what we doing? Yeah. It's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. It don't matter if you're 4 feet or 8'1", or if you 1'1", or if you Cyrex. All these houses bend the knees of being targets. Aegon got colonized by the one-eyed devil. The blood of Valeria gon' bring a bunch of shovels. I hope the rights I pull it off. You know who I'm with. Peace to the team black, baby, they the realest.
Oh shit! Shout out to Felt 5 for that. Mm-hmm. Of course, you know what we do here. It's time to recap. You know the rules. They're pretty simple, and it's the last time you got to hear them. Last time you got to follow them for like 2 years. No predictions if you write in. Okay, we know y'all read the books. Y'all know everything that's supposed to happen or whatever. And we're just guessing. We're just watching the show, following the TV, and trying to figure it out as we go. And that's part of the fun, is that me and Karen don't know everything.
That is most of the fun for me.
If you write in with the feedback, keep it short.
Yes.
We didn't write the books. We didn't read the books. We don't want to read the books. You're not George R.R. Martin. And so we don't need 27 paragraphs of what the fuck you think about whatever. You're not as funny as us and as good. So just don't do that, or start your own podcast doing it, and then be funnier than us and better than us. And people will listen to your show, and then you'll be like, damn, why are these niggas writing so much long feedback? I thought they came to hear me. And then you'll say, oh my God, finally I understand what Rod and Karen were talking about. But yeah, you're here for our opinions, not yours. And don't write in before the recaps. I can say this season, y'all did so great. Mm-hmm. I think we might have gotten 1 or 2 emails all season long that was before we did our recaps, which is crazy. Because when Game of Thrones is out, people used to be ridiculous with their take. Like, man, let us figure it out. Shit. All right, so we're gonna break down by location and everything. This episode was titled "The Queen Who Ever Was." It is episode 8 of season 2. We should start the way we always start, with me asking Karen, what you think about this episode in general?
Overall, I thought the episode was good. It was not great, and I did not like the ending. I'm just gonna be flat forward with it. I did not like the way that it ended. I would rather them have ended last episode than to give us what they gave us Sunday.
I feel similarly. I watched it and I just felt that this was a great episode. This was either a great episode 1 of season 3.
Yes.
Or a great episode 8 of a 10 episode season 2.
Yes.
So in hindsight, now that we know what we know, I really think they should have either ended it with episode 7, because I thought that ending was great.
Me too.
And everything ends in about the same place we are now. The cliffhangers are still there, but it's those dragons staring down Aemond as Aemond tells Vhagar to flee. That is such a amazing, crucial point of the tide of power has changed after we spent 7 episodes of Rhaenyra's team being down bad. Now they might be up. We'll see you next year.
Yes.
And now instead you got a little greedy, or probably not even greedy. Here's what I think happened. I think they had the writer's strike.
Mm-hmm.
They got 8 episodes that were written that were like done. They got enough for 8 episodes to be like done-ish. And then I think because I believe the place that they filmed Game of Thrones, it's not the same laws with the union actors and stuff.
Right.
And they weren't on strike. So they were able to go over there, film this shit outside of America or whatever.
Right.
And they just went, we'll just film the 8 that we have and just, the 2 that we don't have. We're not going to wait months and months and months for maybe the strike to end. Who knows what happens with the actors? Who knows what happens with certain writers and show? We're not waiting for that. We know we're getting a season 3 and 4 because we're Game of Thrones. They'll be okay getting a shitty episode 8, quote unquote, and because they're all coming back anyway. And ultimately, I think it'll be fine because they are coming back, and it's like it's the kind of thing that stings now, but 2 seasons from now, when you see all 4 seasons, you won't be thinking about this moment nearly as much unless the show is just terrible from this point on, which I doubt.
I doubt too.
So I'm guessing that's what happened. But that's why writers get paid, and that's why the shit is so important.
Yep, and
that's why niggas go on strike.
Yeah, and those things matter because particularly with the ending, I was like, oh, all this shit y'all showing us was probably the last 2 episodes, but y'all just didn't have enough to actually, go back to the writers and things like that. And also this piggybacks on some of the things that you were saying, how sometimes you felt like they were repeating and just trudging the same thing. And a lot of that's because you did not have writers. If you would have had writers, some of these storylines could have fucking wrapped up and y'all actually could have got it.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that happened because you don't have writers. Writers write that stuff. This show is very complicated, so you actually need to reset storylines multiple times to keep people.
I can see that.
So like, there's certain episodes that are almost all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Where it's just, where are we at with Rhaenyra? Someone walks in the room and explains where she is. Where are we at with Daemon? Someone walks in the room, explains where Daemon. And so some episodes really, you're like, okay, this felt like not much happened other than y'all just reminding people who the fuck is doing what.
Right.
To end the season on one of those, it doesn't feel right because it's like, I gotta wait 2 years. I know what everyone's doing at this point. I was waiting on y'all to do some shit. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what happened. So, all right, you ready to get into this?
Yes.
All right, I broke it down by location. This shit is 10 pages. Well, I didn't anticipate the last one being 10 pages. I didn't anticipate almost 5,000 words. Why? Because I thought it was going to be a lot of action like most of the finales, or, like a little bit more like wrapping up like a lot of the action. But we didn't get, I thought maybe with 8 episodes, we get action in the 8 episodes instead of a kind of a generalized like talky episode, but it's cool. All right, so let's get into it. The Vale, this is a quick one. Our girl Rhaena, aka Judy from Family Matters, is walking around the fucking Vale looking for signs of that damn dragon, the mythical dragon that eats all.
Have you seen her? Tell me, have you seen her? She walking
around like the hobbits, just walking.
While freezing, fucking the feet up. Ain't nobody sent no team. The boys did they just sell off without him? Was like, fuck it, we ain't going back to get her.
The gay abandon has abandoned her.
Yes, it did.
Okay, they say it's just she was just out there on her own, and it's just so wildly weird, and I guess almost like unbelievable to me. Because the whole crux of her situation was, we're sending the kids to Pentos, and she's one of the kids, and she's supposed to look over the other kids.
Yes.
And the dragon eggs. So she's very important. To think she could just wander off, and everyone in the procession is like, all right, like what happened to motherfucking everybody got a partner before we get on the bus?
I mean, nobody thought to turn around and be like, hey, where's her chaperone? I'm not watching these kids.
No one took a bathroom break? And they make it seem like she's been out here for days.
Yes, she's been out. And my thing is, I would have at least for you like to, go to the boat while they party and somebody say, hey, we're missing the person. Like, even if you just do that one time so they acknowledge that she exists.
Well, they haven't shown us that they arrived at the boat yet.
That's
so
true.
We don't know what's happening at the boat, but still, this is like a wild tangent for a person to just break off on. Now, I want her to get a dragon, selfishly, another black person getting a dragon. So ultimately, I'll probably let this dumbass storyline go, but it's not really a character development situation. It's just like she wants a dragon. We spend very little time talking to her or hearing much about her motivations or what she's going through. She don't even
speak.
Yeah. She's so thirsty she drank water from a stream, which I'm just like, that's how you get dysentery. But maybe it was different back then. She slept outside in the wind. Her boot was raggedy, flapping all over the place. Then she kept walking. She finally heard the dragon call, looks in the sky, sees the dragon flying, runs over there towards it, and ultimately finds the dragon eating some sheep that it had burned. And it drops one of the sheep out of his mouth as it sees her on the horizon. And that's it. We don't see her like approach the dragon more than like from 50 yards away. We don't see if she can ride it or anything. It just kind of stops right there.
Right. And my thing is, not so funny, I would rather, even if you just show her walking up to it and touching it, just something so that storyline can literally be wrapped up.
Yeah, it's. I mean, obviously that storyline can't be wrapped up because I mean, not now.
I mean, yeah,
because I'm assuming she's gonna either get that dragon or get killed by that dragon.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't mean like wrapped up, but like something where it's a form of she's been doing it all this time, like get a little closer or something like that.
I think they want to show her trying to tame it next season. Like it was almost like they just wanted to get a lot of these stories to the same cliffhanger type moment.
Right.
And this was a cliffhanger type moment as opposed to some resolution where you're like, oh, she's going to tame it. I'm assuming she's going to tame it, but I don't fucking know. I didn't read the books. It might be she got ate by a dragon. Nobody heard from her ass again.
Right. And the boys had to be on their own.
Right. Next thing you know, she's in Booty Talk 37 or whatever the fuck. That's a deep cut. Little brothers, I know you got that one.
She went up them stairs, never to return.
The Free City / the Triarchy. So Tyland Lannister was tasked to go meet with the leaders of the Free Cities because Aemond said we need to form some type of coalition with them so that they will lend us their navy. So we can break the blockade, but Tyland is like, they just some savage mercenary pirates.
Right.
We shouldn't even really be fucking with them.
Because we can't trust them.
Aemond said, go your ass over there anyway, so Tyland Lannister is over there. And they meeting in it's like a sandy climate that almost reminds you of Dorne, but without the opulence of Dorne. A monkey was walking around through the meeting and shit. They just want to let you know you somewhere different.
Oh, free range, yes.
Yeah. So in the meeting, the leaders of the Triarchy, which have 3 dudes that do all the talking and 30 dudes that's just in the meeting, just on Zoom on mute.
Yes.
And they yo, we need 100 gold dragons. And he per ship, nigga, that's a lot. And they said, no, per man. And he's like, per man, bro, I ain't got that much money. And they you a Lannister. I know you got it like that. They say y'all castle is carved out of gold or some shit. And then the thing about the Lannisters, and you saw this in Game of Thrones, the Lannisters are like the Trumps. They look rich on, if you go in their house and see a gold toilet.
Right.
But when you look at the balance sheet.
Yeah, when you look at the paper, they owe everybody.
They on a lot of Forbes lists for having but it's because no one's done the math really. And of course they have that motto, a Lannister always pays their debts.
But the Lannister's always in debt.
Right, which is another way of saying, let me hold something.
You got 5.
You always holding something. As long as I owe you, you never be broke. You know what I mean? Y'all would be in court every week with this fucking policy. But Tyland says, hey, look, if y'all break the blockade for us, you can make money because you're going to be selling your goods. So basically boom, boom, boom. I don't really need to give y'all that much money because help breaking the blockade helps y'all too. And the captains is nigga, we already selling shit. Why the fuck would we do that? Like,
yeah, we selling shit here. Why would we
gonna go
there?
die in your war? But we look, we selling kiwis and everything. It's a whole fucking planet of shit to sell.
Right, it's warm over here.
You need us more than we need you.
Right.
So they like, what about the Stepstones? Let us have that. Now the Stepstones, that's what Daemon killed the crab feeder in season 1. My understanding is the reputation of the Stepstones is it really can't be held by anyone.
Right.
And
everybody just keeps taking it over.
Yeah, and that it's not really that like valuable of land. It's not like people grow or produce anything there.
Right.
But they want the Stepstones, and if so, they're like, if you give us the Stepstones, we gonna bring order to the region. You ain't gotta worry about all that bullshit that be happening over there with all the pirates and all that. And all we gonna do is impose a little tax on goods and services sold through there. And Tyland like, y'all just gonna drive up inflation.
Right. I know how this works because I know money because because what we do, we know that trick.
McChicken's gonna be $5 if we let y'all have the Stepstones.
Right, instead of 99 cents.
Yeah, so like we know this trick, but they like, won't that be better? A $5 McChicken better than starving to death? So then they like, look, we'll give you a fleet of warships. We'll put them under your command. You break the blockade, hold the passage, and you'll be the man. And he's like, man, if I agree to this shit, Aemond gonna kill me. I'm gonna get hanged. And they like, yeah, but with the ships and the men we giving you, you could fucking take the Iron Throne if you want to, dude. Don't even worry about it. Don't trip. And so he's like, all right, well, shit. Let me go. I guess I agree. Let me get up out of here. And they say, wait, before you can agree.
Right. One more thing.
You got to get the commander of the fleet to agree to follow you. It's a man called Lohar. Lohar shows up. Now, this was a little confusing to me because they didn't really explain much of it. But I had to look this up. So, Lohar is a man, I guess, in the books or something. And here, technically, Lohar is a man as well. But Lohar is played by a trans woman in real life.
Okay.
And in real life, she goes by her, she pronouns. Okay, the actress. But this character is he, him pronouns. So it was a little confusing to me at first because I was like, what? And the show kind of plays into it too. Like the show is not running away from the fact that this actor looks like a quote unquote womanly character that is obviously like very masculine coded. So as a character, I'll be referring to Lohar as he, him. But just or just Lohar by the name, right. But just understand, I'm not misgendering the actor, the actress,
right?
Because the actress is she, her. But it's just the show has decided to kind of do that. But Lohar, just as a character, no offense, but just feels like something from like Black Sails or like a lesser show. Like this character didn't show up and make me go, oh, okay, we doing something. It was just kind of like, what is this distraction? Like maybe Lohar will become important down the line.
I think so, because there's no reason to introduce this character just
to spend this much time in episode 8. It was like, I hope Lohar is very important,
right?
Because as of right now, it's just kind of like, okay, like this is a weird rite of passage that was just kind of like out of nowhere. I appreciate the inclusiveness, I appreciate the show. Cause I always say that about these shows is, if you can imagine dragons, but your world has no like trans people, your world has no black people, your world has no LGBTQ people, then it's kind of like, man, what the fuck is your imagination really, Yeah. So I am glad that like finally there's a trans character that's on screen, or trans actress that's getting a job. But as far as like this introduction and stuff, it's either introduce or bring this person up on screen earlier in the season, so that this is like we're finally getting to meet Lohar, as opposed to like this curveball where I'm like, this gonna be an extra 10 minutes of show.
Yes. I 100% agree. And when I first seen this particular character, I'm not gonna lie, because it reminded me so much of Dorne. I was like, oh, we fluid. Like my mind automatically went to
because Dorne and
to it being very fluid. Like I thought the character was
and
fluid.
to the credit of the show, this is a constant. Outside of Westeros, people are not as uptight.
Right.
Like Pentos, Bravos, and now the Triarchy. No one is as uptight as the fucking royals and the fucking. You got to fuck your brother if you need to keep the blood pure, and only there's no gay people here. There's no this. There's no that. Like outside of everybody outside seem to be having a much better time than the motherfuckers in Westeros is trash compared to this.
Ain't it though?
So anyway, Lohar shows up and Lohar's like takes a look at Tyland and is like, yeah, so you ain't no real man. Like, look at you. You're skinny. You don't, like you're not impressive to me at all.
Right.
One of the people is like, but he tall, but it just doesn't work because Lohar don't respect him.
And we heard about you before you even got up here. While you have a chance, you need to be trying to get an education because your looks ain't gonna get you paid. Because you're not that cute. And your hair is uneven. You look dusty. So I'm saying, what else are you going to do besides pander, rob, steal, try to trick some girl up out of her baby's check or something?
That's how I felt. It was like, oh my goodness.
So he's got to get Lohar. Tyland's got to get Lohar to agree to follow him in the battle.
Right. That's the only way you can get the rest of them to go.
Right. So Tyland and Lohar have a mud fight because Lohar's like, yeah, I'll never fuck with a man that can't best me, and Tyland's like, best you at what? And next thing you know, they fighting in the mud. They fight in the mud. Eventually, Tyland just straight up punches Lohar in the face like 2-3 times. And I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure that this is visually played to the fact that this actress is a trans woman, so it feels and looks like a man getting his ass kicked by a woman until he hits the woman in the face.
That's how it looked. Yes.
So optically, I think we're supposed to feel that discomfort, but also it's just kind of a weird like vibe to it because it's like once he hits Lohar in the face, it's almost like, oh, okay, we respect you now. Way to commit a hate crime. It's like, all right. And so Lohar.
Right. And also it was one of those things where it was like, I don't know if it was just a presentation of mud or whatever, but it's like, y'all just playing in this.
Well, I mean, they was bleeding, yeah, but it didn't feel like a fight to the death. I feel you on
Right.
that. But it was just like a weird ritual that just doesn't feel of this show. It just, like I said, it felt like something in Black Sails or something.
I can see that.
But Lohar's like, I'll consider your proposal after we eat dinner. You ever ate the flesh of your enemies? And Tyland is like, no, and I won't. That's gross. And Lohar's like, I was just fucking with you, dog. And Tyland falls in the mud again. They go to dinner. Tyland sings a fucking song, one of those like sailor songs and shit, Gilligan's Island or something. And everyone cheers because Lohar is like, yeah, and then everybody's like, yeah.
Like, this sounds terrible.
Yeah, at first it was quiet, but then Lohar was like, clap. Lohar says, you know what, I fuck with you now, Tyland, and calls Tyland the right name. Called him Tywin earlier, but I fuck with you, Tyland, and you know what, you look better than I thought. You look kind of good now that I get a good look at you.
Right. I was like, oh, sexual tension?
Yeah, I said, oh, is Lohar gonna fuck Tyland?
That's what I was thinking.
And Lohar is like, you gonna sell? I'm gonna sell with you. I'm gonna have your back. Toast the crowd, like, hey, we fuck with Tyland now. Then they kind of watch this woman dance in the background. And then Tyland's like, well, I'll be hitting the old dusty trail.
Right up, time to go.
And then Lohar says, nah, I want to have children by you. And Tyland looks like, how the fuck that's supposed to happen? You know what I mean? Like, this character is a man in this universe, so how are we supposed to have kids? And then Lohar's like, I want you to fuck my wives.
And not just funny, even that statement, I was like, oh, so they gonna fuck you in the wild? Like,
I don't know. Tyland asked the right question though.
Yeah, yes.
How many? I mean,
Did ask how many.
How much fucking do I really got to be doing for this? Okay, whatever it takes to get the deal done.
Right, because last thing I want to do is go back without an army.
I will say, just on a meta level, it is kind of a dope twist for a trans character to not be the one that is either sexualized or their body kind of used as the gag of like, ugh, who would want that?
Right.
It was kind of like, and it came off almost like some pimp shit, but it was kind of like a dope twist that it wasn't, you know, just like, because I think a lot of times when there's like a trans character, actor, whatever, like, not, I don't even know the character's trans, but just there's this like expectation of like, and then we got to get some weird sexual type of it, and it wasn't really it wasn't a direct shot. It was like, I could still see people maybe feeling a bit offended, but you know, it's Game of Thrones, so of course there's gonna be sexual innuendos with characters,
right?
But it felt like a nice swerve that wasn't direct. Like, I was like, oh, okay, well, they took that somewhere else. But that's it for the Triarchy and shit. I found this mostly to be boring.
Yes, yeah, I can feel you on that.
This could have happened off screen, unless they're gonna really do something big with these characters.
Yeah, they better next season.
I gave no fucks about everything that happened here. And I think I was supposed to feel like wowed by the fact that you have this character Lohar, and I just didn't. And I wish they had built up Lohar's reputation a lot more before we saw them. Driftmark. So that's Corlys' Alyn. Rhaena talked to Corlys about how, you know, hey, we got new dragon riders. I'm happy, but I don't know these niggas, man. They might not have that good character, you know what I'm saying? Like,
who are these niggas?
I mean, but at least you know Adam a whole.
Right.
You know? And Corlys like, well, it depends on what you mean by no. I mean, he works for me. And that's it. Just works for me. He got good performance reviews. But I don't be talking to that nigga like that.
Right.
Which is on me. But, you know.
Man, I need to be a better supervisor / manager.
You know what I'm saying? I
need to check my files better.
I don't really mess with son like that. No, nothing intended. But he said, you do got the advantage with the dragons that you need to strike now. And Ray's like, I was hoping just having the dragons would be a deterrent so that we wouldn't have to have a war, because once you see I'm dragging tight, you know, you fold your hand, you don't want this. But Corlys is like, yeah,
that's not how that's gonna work.
Vhagar's not the only dragon that Aemond has.
Right.
They also have Darren's dragon, which is small and untested, but it is still a fucking dragon. Helena's dragon is Dreamfire, which is actually one of the older dragons and is pretty formidable. Even though Helaena is clearly like a peaceful, loving, not confrontational.
I'm not even gonna lie. I forgot she had a whole ass dragon.
We've only seen it once, and she's never been seen riding.
Right.
But I knew she had Dreamfire because of all the recaps I've written and shit. But it was like, you know, I can't imagine Helaena being good in battle.
Oh no.
So, and that's what Ray says. She's like, I hear what you're saying. Helaena ain't got that dog in her.
Yeah, she ain't built for that.
And Corlys is like, yeah, but you never know, because Aemond might ask her to do it. You know? And the thing they didn't say that I was thinking is, I hear what you're saying, Ray, but you did, in your name, her son was killed, Jaehaerys.
Yeah, so now she might feel a certain way.
She ain't talked to Helaena since then, you know, and she knows Helaena has a sweet spirit and a different way about her thinking, but at the same time, I would never put it past nobody whose son got killed in my name,
right? To be thinking
stay out
rationally,
of this shit.
Right?
Yeah. So Corlys points out, like, Aemond is desperate now. He done seen your dragons.
Right.
He's gathering the troops. He's figuring something out because he's
a strategist.
He was up until just a minute ago. Now he's down. He gonna play even harder. And Ray agrees and was like, "Well, how your ship doing? The Sea Snake?" And he says, well, it's better than new. We done changed out the carburetor. You know what I'm saying? I put
some new brakes on it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
they rebuilt the engine.
Right. Kitted out this motherfucker. The muffler is banging. And he says, but I'm changing the name to the Queen Who Never Was, because it's in honor of Nisi. But is that really an honorable name? Because the Queen Who Never Was is like the pejorative name people kind of called her behind her back
Yes.
to point out how she didn't get the title she deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Corlys is just an odd duck.
Ain't he though?
I know people love him because he's a black character and he be talking with that accent, but
that's
he be doing shit where I'm like, what was the thinking behind this?
right. What was the point?
All right, so Ray's like, you know what? Because I think she's reminded Niecy died in her name, and she's like, thank you, because you still fucking with me even though she died. And he's like, I ain't really doing this for you. I'm doing it for the memory of my girl, Niecy. And he said, Ray, you ready for war? You got the dragons. You got my ships. You got my men. The Lannisters and Hightowers are marching, from Old Town. Go burn they shit up now, because you don't have time to let them keep marshaling their resources, and you got the dragon strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah,
and
you fuck around and wait too long, it's gonna be a problem.
And he brings up and we still don't know what the fuck Daemon's up to. Now, the thing is interesting here is he mentions in this scene, and he mentions it later. He mentions the Lannisters army, and he mentions the Navy, the Lannister Navy ships and the Hightower ships, but he never mentions that Triarchy, which we know is coming, because he don't know.
Yeah, he did not know about them, because if he did, he would have mentioned them.
So
and I think he would have. Not trying to find. He would have prepared better if he would have known this.
Yeah, or we just know that there's an element to this military Navy shit that he ain't up on. And so that is very foreboding to me, that there's a third fucking Navy out there that he ain't even up on. And they don't have no dragons going with him in the Navy. So,
right.
So then, the Queen Who Never Was goes to set sail. They're getting ready. Corlys sends for Alyn, because we need to make peace. Okay. I want to get set out on good terms with you. You my first mate. And Alyn's like, did I not do a good job?
Right.
Did I do something wrong?
I mean, I did everything the report said I was supposed to do. I dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's. I made sure everybody did what they supposed to do. What else do you need, sir?
Right. And of course, the vibe of this scene is very much...
Hey, Pop. Can I ask you a question? How come you ain't never liked me?
Like you? What law is there say I got to like you?
So, the vibe is very, it's a lot of tension. Okay? So, Alyn...
He didn't want the position in the first place.
Well, I'm getting to that. So, Alyn says, have I not done a good job? And Corlys is like, yeah, but you've been real, curt. You've been kind of rude. You've been silent. You've been distant to the men. You can't lead if you don't inspire. And that's when Alyn says, I ain't asked for this job. You made me have it.
I told you I was just fine doing the regular ass shit I was doing before.
And Corlys is like, dog, I gave you the job that everybody in here is trying to get. I nepotized your ass, okay? And Alyn's like, forgive me, my lord. I'll endeavor to prove myself. And then he goes to walk off. And Corlys like, nigga, I'm trying to help you. And then
he should not have said that.
He should not, because Alyn stopped and said, hold up, what?
Hey, Pop. Can I ask you a question? How come you ain't never liked me?
So he hit him with that, you want to help me? Is this to help you off after all these years? A reminder to be grateful? And Corlys now, he see the anger popping out. He try to dead it. He trying to get out of the conversation.
Nope, you shouldn't have started the conversation. I hate when people do that bullshit. You start the conversation and then it don't go the way you want to. Then you only no motherfucker. You gonna hear me?
So we go to black acting school now. So it's like, I meant no offense. Gone and batten the hatches. Okay, get the fuck out of here. Walk the plank or some shit.
And he would have did that before, but you had to press it. You had to push the button.
So then Alyn, he on one now. He's like, you know what it's like for us to grow up fatherless, to be sneered upon as bastards, to be broke? You know what hunger does to a boy? Grief, shame. Nigga, we ate Arby's. That's how down bad we was. And Corlys is like, go on and Jolly Roger, man. You dismissed. We already talked about and he says, nah, I sold fish in the market from cold dawn until sunset, saving money to stave off winter. And I watch you go shopping with your new family, wearing furs, choosing them sweet meats to eat at the supper by the fire. And now, Laenor dead. His sister died before him, Rhaena, and the heir that took his place. And now you won't remember that I live.
I am right.
Now you wish to suddenly scatter the crumbs of your favor. I am an honorable man and I will serve you if I must. But if it's all the same, I will decline any offers of help. And if I survive this war, I'm going to continue as I began. Alone. And then he stormed off on his ass.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where Niecy was right. This is something that he should have corrected a while ago. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, you waited a very long time. I think if this is something that he would have bought years ago, she would have accepted him. Everybody would have moved on. Like, it'd have been just fine. But because you waited so long, people are gonna have feelings, and he's not his brother. He's like, I'm not looking for your approval no more. That little boy dead.
Yeah, because Corlys tried to Brian McKnight him.
Oh no!
I mean, he went and started. He had his new family he claimed that he was proud of, taking them to get sweet meats in the market, while knowing his little bastard son was there selling fish, trying to get by on scraps.
Oh no!
And he just walking up in there holding his hands and laughing with his furs on and shit with his white wife. Okay, Corlys is. I'm telling you, Corlys, he might as well be an NFL player.
New family, who this?
Corlys McKnight. Harrenhal. You guys know. Man, I'll be so glad when we are done with this motherfucker. But yeah, anyway, of course, we had to go to Harrenhal. Now, to Harrenhal's credit, we got way less creepy Harrenhal this week.
Yes, we did.
And I think I'm on to something, man. It's when the weather is good, it's okay.
Yeah, when
the sun was out,
when it's raining in Jury, that's not the place you want to be.
But when the sun is out, it's like they do less creepy stuff, and Daemon has a better temperament. But whenever it get dark or foggy or whatever the fuck, it just immediately go to Dream World.
Yeah.
So Daemon is walking around. One of the river lords asked him about, like, hey man, my sheep got sold, but I got some pigs. Will your dragon eat pigs? And Daemon's like, nigga, Caraxes is black. Of course it eats swine.
Come on,
man.
Just feed it.
If y'all don't put some motherfucking corn, if y'all don't hog them malls for that,
my dragon eat the rooter to the tooter.
Right. Y'all don't start them chitlins going, boy. We got 2 days for the battle.
Quit fucking around and feed my dragon.
Right. So the dude is like, all right, we'll be ready to march in 2 days time. Sir Simon comes up. Sir Simon Strong. He brings Alfred Broom. Alfred Broom left Dragonstone like 7 weeks ago. He just now showing up.
Right.
He need to get, remember Rhaena sent him to get a progress report on Daemon and to see what his loyalties was like. So Broom is like, what's up, Daemon? Daemon's like, I'm good, bro. Okay. And Broom's like, we just trying to see if you still down with the clique. And Daemon's like, what you think about my army? Because you know this motherfucker don't never answer no question directly.
No, he does not.
No yes or no. Just he like, you see my army? And Broom's like, yeah, it's mad large. That's a big ass army. And Daemon's like, yep, we're gonna march on King's Landing before the Lannister army gets us, because they acting all scary and shit, because they don't want to ride up on here and get fricasseed by my dragon.
Right.
So while they over there waiting on like whatever the fuck they waiting on, we just gonna leave, head towards King's Landing, ride on them fools, take the throne back. Now he's not saying take the throne back for Rhaena or take the throne back for me. He didn't say.
Not. Mm-mm.
Broom like, can I speak to you in private, my guy?
Can we have a conversation?
Away from Simon Strong. And he's like, all right, cool. Come on out. Let's go to the Godwood tree, which is not private at all. But nobody was out there really, so they was going to have this conversation. And of course, Broom starts talking, and he's building that preamble. Hey, you know, I was faithful to your brother and your family. I fuck with y'all. I would never betray y'all. Hold up, you hear something? And the wind literally whispered, traitor.
Yes, it did.
Maybe that's the wind Alice be talking about when she said, I just heard it in the wind. I didn't know the wind literally be telling her shit. So it's like, you know, it's bitch nigga. And Damon's like, this place I had you barking at the moon.
Yeah. He's like, you ain't shit.
Yeah. You a whole bitch nigga. And so Damon's like, it'll have you barking at the moon. What you got to tell me? And Broom is like, look, you got an army and Ray don't. She failed to get her army and she don't be listening to us anyway. And then of course Damon's like, Ray just gonna do what she want to do. So what, like, okay,
right?
And then Broom is like, but you are a leader of men with a whole penis. And if you say if whatever you say, the lords will follow you. And he calls him king, which as been stated many times throughout this Harrenhal adventure, motherfuckers call him Prince Regent, they call him my prince, everything but king. Alfred Broom showed up and called him king. Like, fuck Rhaenyra, you the king, you need to take this shit over. Now of course this ain't go well because Sir Simon Strong getting his Lee Trevino and Happy Gilmore on, he always somewhere in the doorway just happening to overhear some bullshit. He overheard this bullshit.
He be creeping around, boy.
Yeah.
People get the I think there's passageways and shit that he be using that don't nobody know about.
I don't know what it is. Maybe he's just, I don't know, because he was standing right in the fucking door. Like, it was like they looked back and he was in the door. Like, they looked, he wasn't, then we saw he was at the doorway. And he's clearly doing some trading shit. And Daemon calls him out. He said, I never took you for a traitor, Sir Alfred.
And you know, it made me think that Daemon might have heard that.
That traitor on the wind?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. All I know is Sir Alfred Broom, you a hoe ass nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no respect for this man. Need him to die expeditiously. What a whole, no honor. And then we'll see how things work out. But like, I could not have this whole ass nigga around me after this. Mm-hmm. You're not part of the crew.
No, you're not. And
you ain't did nothing but complain the whole fucking season.
The whole goddamn season.
Good grief. Just leaving fucking 3-star reviews on every move that Rhaenyra made.
Right. I would give you 4, but you got a vagina. Sir.
Right. Just bag your
nobody
reviews.
Asked for this review.
Stop watching Star Wars. You hate it so much.
Right.
You know?
Nobody asked you to be here.
So he's like, Ray's intentions are good, but what we need in this moment is a king, preferably with a penis. And Daemon smirks to himself, but he never answers.
No, he does not.
And he walks off. Sir Simon saw everything. So then Daemon sleeps in the bed. Tries to sleep in the bed. We see Alice sitting on the corner of the bed crying, watching over this nigga. Not crying hard, but just tears in her eyes for some reason.
And my thing is, who knows how long she been there?
He even woke up and said, do you ever sleep? And she says, I'm going to the Godswood. So they leave. They go out to the Godswood, the old fucked up tree and shit. Mm-hmm. He sees some sort of fucking horned beast ass, hoof footed motherfucker just chilling.
Goddamn growl, because this showed up. I said, what the fuck is that?
Right. And then when he went to look a little closer, like when he kind of focused, it was gone. I'm like, get me the fuck out of this place. What's wrong with this motherfucking place? Goddamn.
What is wrong with this place?
So then, they go to the fucking tree, and Alicent is like, you know, you came to Harrenhal talking about I'm finna run this shit. You found out you ain't running shit. You can't run this shit. It's a lot of omens out here for people that's looking for him. And he ain't say nothing. She said, I noticed you ain't scoffed this time. And he said, nigga, at this point, I'll believe anything.
Right.
Fuck it.
He was like, it's so much shit going on. I'm not even going to fight it no more.
Right.
Like, who gives a fuck?
I'm following your ass out here in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I want to be at peace. And the only way to be at peace is just to go with the flow.
So she's like, you want to learn what's given to you? And he's like, sure. She said, all your life, you sought to command your own fate. But today, you are ready because you ain't fighting it no more. You ready to let the wheels of fate guide you. And so she takes his hand, guides it to the tree. It's like weird blood sap coming off the tree by her face. And then he got the motherfucking trailer for Game of Thrones season 1.
Yes, the whole ass trailer.
It was the 3-eyed raven. It was a motherfucking Targaryen that was tied to is stuck inside of a tree.
It was Danny
with a birthmark on his face that didn't turn into the 3-eyed raven.
Right.
And then a dead dragon was laying down. And then we seen like a White Walker. We seen the dragon like Daenerys from Game of Thrones is in there. We saw her birthing the dragon eggs, and he saw the Iron Throne. And this time when he walked and he saw a vision, it was actually adult Rhaenyra.
Yeah, not no kid no more.
Not the kid Rhaenyra that
before
cut
all
them.
of them was children. Every version was a child.
And I think that always made him feel less of a man. And so it was and she looked so regal and powerful and composed, like she would belonged on that throne. And then Helena's voice came in the story in his dream and said, "It's all a story." And he turned around to see her, and she says, "And you're but one part in it. You know your part." And then she says, "You know what you must do." So he comes back to life, having been given all the spoilers. And
yes, he did.
And the question I have is this: do you think Helaena is like aware and able to walk dreams? Because this is the most. There's been a few times she's been in someone's dream. She was in Aemon's dream. She has this preternatural ability to just know shit, even though she's not good at communicating it in a clear, concise way that people can understand. But do you think she can control that she's walking in these dreams, and is like her and Alice, because Alice also seemed to hint that she knew what Daemon was dreaming about? Are they like controlling or manipulating Daemon into like playing his part?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think that, in my opinion, they can kind of go in and out, like, because they're dreamers, so they can kind of go in and out. They might not see quote unquote everything, but what they do see, they do remember.
Right.
And so I think that probably very few people have the ability, but I think they have the ability to interact. I don't know if they have the ability to change, but they might have the ability to interact and kind of speak to the person that's kind of in that dream kind of state type of thing, to maybe help them understand and may interpret it whatever they just saw better.
Yeah, it's so interesting because magic in this universe happens, and it's just always like it's just, they don't make it magic every week. It just be like, did this shit even work? And then bam, magic. So between the tree vision, the dreams, all the shit Damon's been going through, Alice kind of like guiding him and manipulating him, Helaena being in the dream, it just made me feel like, I wonder how cognizant Helaena is of this. If she got like some Professor X powers.
She might, and it's one of those things where on the low over the years she's gotten stronger and stronger and stronger. Oh, and people just ignore the fuck out of her when she just be spewing shit. They be like, "Oh, that crazy bitch." And
we know that dreaming is a real thing. Like,
yes.
This entire series is based off of Aegon the Conqueror's dream, the Song of Ice and Fire or whatever. So we know like all of the machinations they're doing are because they do believe in these dreams coming true and fulfilling these destinies and these futures and playing their parts in it. So it's just very interesting to see. So later on, Ray and Adam pull up on their dragons at Harrenhal, and everybody runs away. Love this. Love when this happens.
The people are like, "It's a dragon. The fuck? Is it on our side? Is it not? We don't know." They all look the same. They all dragon.
And at this point, even if you did know it was Rhaenyra, she could be beefing with Daemon.
Yes, it comes.
So you don't know. You can't feel safe as just a motherfucking bystander if she pulls up on her dragon.
Right, this sounds a fucking flame everybody. You don't know.
Right. So everyone runs away. She lands. Adam just flies around the background. She basically brought him for just like backup in case shit go left. And she meets Simon at the door. Simon like, "I didn't think you was gonna come yourself." And she was like, "Motherfucker, you said the goddamn treason was afoot. Of course I came." And he's like, Well, I must admit, I had reason to fear, but come see for yourself. I noticed that he said had reason, meaning maybe something had changed. So he said, I had reason to fear, but come see for yourself. She walks in. The hall is full of soldiers looking ready for war. Her dragon lands over the roof, looking down at everybody, and the men part as Daemon walks through them. Alfred Bloom, bitch ass, looking over Daemon's shoulder, and he says, "I wasn't expecting you." Daemon says at the Ray, and Ray says, "That seems rather lapse in foresight. Like, of course I'm gonna pop up and check on this army and see what you're doing." And then she says, "I see you have done well here." And he says, "They're sworn to me, and not a moment too soon." Now, when he says sworn to me, she steps back. Because she like, what the fuck are you really trying to say?
Right. Like what you say matter. And also when she walked in the room, everybody looked at her like, huh?
And he ain't been returning ravens, nothing. So like,
ain't returned no text. He left the group chat. Like she don't know what's happening.
And so she steps back and says out loud so everyone can hear, "And to whom are you sworn?"
Because that's what matters more than anything.
And so he steps forward and speaks in High Valyrian, so as not the layman in the room can't understand what they're saying. And he says, "The world is not what we thought it was. The war is just the beginning. Winter is coming with darkness and doom." She says, "You sound like my father." And he says, "I saw it. I saw that we cannot withstand it, and yet somehow we must." Meaning he's now privy to the Conqueror's dream and everything that's coming. So he's on the same page because he understands how big the scale of everything is and how small his life is within that scale.
Right.
So then he switches to English and says, "The realm's only hope is a leader who can unite it, and my brother chose you." He bends the knee to her. He says, "You are the true queen, Rhaena, first of her name, protector of the realm. I am meant to serve you and all of these men with me until death or the end of my story." Everyone kneels, including Sir Alfred Broom. You fucking front runner.
And my thing is this. What he saw changed him, because prior to this, anytime they had any interaction, it was very defiant. It was very, "Arr!" But the way he said, "until like the end of my days," I was like, oh, okay. This is not a trick. There's literally has been a change of heart. And also, I think this answers the question when his brother looked at him with the crown going, "Hey, dog, this is heavy. Like, is this something that you really want? Do you really want this bitch? Do you?"
Yeah, and I called that last week.
Rob is right. Yep, Rob is right. Rob is right. Rob is right. Yep, Rob is right. Yeah, Rob is right. Whoop, what was that again? Oh, yeah, Rob was right. Rob was right.
When I said that in that dream, when his brother was like, "You still want this fucking crown?" And there was like, we didn't see him take it, but there was this like recognition of like, oh, subconsciously I'm realizing the weight and the duty of the crown. It ain't just about vanity and honor and power. It's a responsibility. And so when you look at it like that, it's not about your glory. And I think that shit's connected with him, and that's why he made the decision he made this week.
Yeah, and also it's one of the things too, to where we talked about that split second before he killed that dude. How all of a sudden he had like a flash of conscience, like you know what I mean, like, oh my gosh, what am I doing type of thing. He went on ahead and went through with it, but I think him doing that made him realize, oh, I don't really think I'm designed to make these type of decisions. Like, I can and I will, but I don't really want to deal with everything that actually comes with this. My thing is, this is something that I thought I wanted, and then when I realized the cost that came with it, it's not really what I wanted.
So Simon Strong looks stunned, very Lee Trevino. Very Lee Trevino.
I was like, what? I guess.
And then in High Valyrian, Ray says to him as he's on his knee, "Leave me again, I'll cut your dick off." Well, she says, "Leave me again at your own peril."
Right.
And he says, "I could not. I have tried," in Valyrian. And then in English, he says, "My queen." He turns to his men in English. "For every one of us who falls, 100 of them, there will be no mercy. We fight for our queen." And I'm like, I wonder if Misaria not gonna like this. Like, cause she don't really fuck with Daemon. Daemon was the one that had her incarcerated, lied about getting her out, kept her incarcerated. It was Ray that freed her. And then they kissed, and now this nigga's moving back in the crib. Like, what's happening? Three's company.
That or either he might actually stay at Harrenhal.
I mean, he is for now during this war, but I'm just saying.
Okay, when it's over, yes.
If they end up together, that's something to consider.
True.
I can see Misaria not liking any of this shit.
Agreed.
But it was a sweeping moment, though. I'm glad we got to see Harrenhal do his thing. I hope we never come back to this place.
Ain't that the truth?
In the OG Game of Thrones, they brought up Harrenhal and it being haunted, and I was like, I wonder what that would look like. Well, now I know, and I don't want to see it anymore. And I'll take this sudden character development that we're getting in all these arcs.
Yes.
Because I just need them to get the fuck on and move. It is a cheap out to give Daemon the vision of the future so that he'll be like, well, I can act right now. Because his whole thing has been, I ain't going to act right.
Yes.
And I'm selfish. And so you just give him the fucking trailer to Game of Thrones. Can we just show it to everybody now? Can we take Aemond and Alicent? Like, this is what Game of Thrones is, y'all. Calm down.
They got to touch the old ass tree.
All right. 2 locations left. King's Landing. So Aemond sits on top of Vhagar coldly looking over a city that he just burned to the ground. The city is Sharp Point. And apparently, like, he flies over it. We hear people screaming in agony, so he fucked these people up for no reason.
For no reason. These people minding their own business.
And it turns out like he just did this because he was so humiliated by having to run when he saw those 3 dragons and Rhaena at Dragonstone, that he was like, somebody got to pay. I'm going to just go kill some random innocent people in the town.
Right. They was minding their business. Sunny day. Oh, shit. And he just setting the whole fucking place on fire.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I don't like this. I did not like this. And not because I'm rooting for Aemond, so don't write in with no dumb shit like that. That's not how I watch this show. I didn't like it because it was like a sudden character flaw that means he can't be king that they really didn't build up towards. To me, this is so much different from him saying like, oh, lock the small folk in town, don't let them leave or whatever. Like,
right.
To me, this is different than even not caring. This is like just a person that like kills innocent people because they just on a whim because they were upset. And it just seemed to happen so fast that it was like, I guess they just don't have time and they need us to understand he shouldn't be king.
Right.
But it was enough for me to think he shouldn't be king because Rhaena is the rightful person and all that. And he killed Luke and all this stuff. But man, I think they really, like, and once again, it's the show writing. I think they just really make a case against the Greens every time they get a chance.
Yeah, they do.
And even when Team Black does something like reprehensible, it's never as bad. It's never followed by Team Green doing something good. Like, for example, if Team Green did something where they somehow figured out, if they made a treaty with the Triarchy to bring food into the port so that the citizens could eat, that's something I think they should do on this show. They're not going to do it, but that's something they should have done because it then lessens how much evil you think about with Team Green. You're like, oh, well, they do care about the citizens.
Right.
Or at least they don't want them to riot. They never give them anything. So like burning this innocent city is like, what the fuck? Anyway, we cut to Aegon, who's in bed, looking a lot more healed up, but still Fire Marshal Billy, And Lord D.I.'s in there. He's like, can I have some rum, Lord D.I.? And then Lord D.I.'s like, sure. And he gives him some rum.
He was like, anything. Like he's like, oh, you want some rum? I don't mind giving you rum, dog.
Lord Orwell is at work.
Yes, you gonna get the rum if that's what you want.
He don't care about the machinations of these white folks. He probably got a whole ass black family at home.
You know he do.
That he just trying to hide from these white people. I know he clock out at 4:55 every day.
Right? And it's time to go. They were like, well, Lord D.I., you just missed him.
Yep, never worked a weekend in his life. Don't plan on it.
You know, he was mad as shit when they called that overnight meeting. He had to come back.
When they say overtime is optional, he say, well, you shouldn't have made it optional.
You
I won't be doing it.
should not have made it optional. They were like, Lord D.I., you can stay here. I'm not staying here. I'm going home.
Right. You going to the Christmas party? Nope. I celebrate Kwanzaa.
Right.
So
No.
Lord D.I. gives him some rum. Littlefoot, Longfoot, Larys burst in, and he's like, can I have a word with the king, with Aegon? And Lord D.I. is like, yep, bye. And
I got 15 jobs. I trust it's something else that's not being done while I'm in this room with him.
well, I think it's even further than that. I think you ain't got to kill me if I don't know the secrets.
He be getting ghosts, don't he?
They look like y'all up to some plotting. All right, then.
All right, I don't know nothing.
Y'all hold it down.
See nothing, hear nothing.
So Larys tells Aegon, yo, we got to shake the spot, okay? King's Landing getting hot right now because Ray is sitting on 3 brand new dragons, okay? Your brother Aemond saw the dragons himself, fled in fear. Aegon like, ha ha ha, like a bitch. And he's like, be that as it may, but your brother went and burnt down Sharp Point after that.
Because he was upset.
And Aegon like, well, what's the fucking point of all this bullshit then? And me getting all fucked up and shit, if I can't even be king, I gotta leave the fucking city. And Larys is like, bruh, it's not worth it. Like, you just gotta go right now, okay?
It's too hot in the streets, right?
Aegon like, I'm the king, I can't run, I got to stick it out. And Larys like, Aemond will kill your ass. Okay, he been thwarted, he's angry, he's paranoid, he's close to the power, he's worried about someone taking it from him.
Yeah, he will fuck you up, sir.
And Aegon is like, well, then put me on the throne right now while Aemond is out of the city. When he come back, I have him thrown in jail. Problem solved. Larys like, but not really. Remember when I told you that Rhaena got 3 brand new dragons off the lot?
Right, 3
when
of them.
She roll up here with like 7 dragons on your ass and you ain't even got Vhagar.
Right, you ain't got your own dragon.
Like, what you gonna do then?
Right.
And so Larys like, but look, I got us, okay? Remember I told you I took all my money out my bank account for my estate? Okay, I got the Harrenhal gold. I done put it in the bank in Bravos overseas. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up off the record, dog. We go to Bravos, the Iron Bank. They ain't got no extradition. We can still be rich. We can live well. We wait till the shit die down. And Aegon's like, man, I gotta go over there with them goat fuckers. Hell no, I don't want to live over there. I'm like, bro, look at you. Beggars can't be choosers.
Right.
And also, like, what is living well for you at this point, bro? Just go get greased up and like rehabilitate yourself.
You'll be alive. You can always come back.
Yeah, like what? Why are you trying to be high and mighty about this? You need to go. And Larys is like, at least you're gonna be alive. And Aegon's like, my dragon dead. I'm burnt. I'm disgusting. I'm a cripple like you. And then I'm alone. And Larys says, you're not alone. And Aegon not hearing none of this shit. So he's like, you not alone. My dick blew up like a hot dog in the microwave. Did they tell you that?
Did they tell you that, sir?
When I got fried by that dragon, that motherfucker just exploded my penis. And then Larys is like, let them destroy each other, you know, the queen, Rhaenyra and your brother, and then we can rise up, you know, and then we can return after they exhausted themselves. And Aegon was like, man, fuck everything you said. He's still talking about his dick. He's like, I can't even piss, bro. Pee just be running down my leg and shit. How that sound to you?
Right.
And Larys is trying to ignore it, so he like, hey, the people gonna rise up. They gonna meet us. They gonna get tired of the endless deprivation and the fear. They gonna hail the returning king. Your father's true heir, Aegon the victorious, risen from the ashes. Aegon the peacemaker. Aegon the rebuilder. And so now, after all that, Aegon started paying attention because, you know, he loved praise. He want the people to love him. All of a sudden, he's like, Aegon the realm's delight. And he's on board. And Larys like, got him. Let's get out of here, buddy.
Wow, we got a chance because it's already going to be a slow process with just me and you now.
Right. Aemond returns to the crib.
That they ain't gonna show. What's gonna happen when Lord DEI show up and the patient gone? All hell gonna break loose.
Right?
I mean, he gonna be like, I don't know. Lars was the last person here, cause he know that he gonna tell them that Lars was literally the last person that seen him.
Well, he don't want. That's the reason you leave the room.
Yep.
I think he'll be fine. Lord DEI knows not to know. And that's the best thing you can do in Game of Thrones. Know when not to know.
He was like, I do not know what happened to my lord.
He got plausible deniability.
He sure does, cause he was nowhere to be found.
Right. He's like, oh, they must have did that shit at like 4:57. You know, I was in the car.
I
was pulling out the parking lot. When y'all say we can leave at 5, to me that's pulling off the premises.
Yes.
So I was already.
I need to be in my car rolling forward.
I was already in the Altima making a right onto the main street, player. I don't know what they did.
You know, put it on my time sheet.
So then Aemond gets briefed on by Iron Rod, because remember, Tyland is gone. Obviously, Larys is gone. Lord DEI, he don't do this part of the job. So anyway, Iron Rod is like, yo, Ray had some boats come get all the bastards for the dragon trials. That's what the fuck happened. Anybody with a little bit of Targaryen blood, they went to Dragonstone. That's why she got these dragons. And Aemond is like, oh man, these old scheming ass motherfuckers. Look, start inspecting all the ships coming in and out of the harbor. And Iron Rod like, that's gonna fuck up the fishermen, and we won't get as much fish, and then people won't be eating, and they barely eating as is.
Right. We can't stop everybody.
And Aemon's like, well, sacrifice gotta be made. That's too bad.
He was like, stop and frisk everybody. But sir,
to me, I thought the show was setting up his weakness to be his not caring about the small folk, and eventually they'll come get him.
Mm-hmm.
But then he burned down that city, so now it's just like, it won't be no slow boil. It's like, nigga gotta be evil for that. Then in Helena's room, Alicent tells everybody, Helena's like, mama, why everybody hate us? And Alicent like, everybody hate us because they not happy, and unhappy people just some haters. They just some hating ass people that just be on Twitter talking shit. And as if Alicent and them did nothing wrong. And then Helena's like, but we didn't order the blockade. And Alicent like, yeah, baby girl, but they expect us to break the blockade because we in charge. Now here, baby, have some juice, here's some tea. Now what I think is interesting is, like I said, with this Helaena character, it feels like she can walk in dreams. It seems like she knows the future. It seems like sometimes she is so clear and clairvoyant. But then she can't understand a thing like people being unhappy and hating on the royal family living in opulence. Mm-hmm. Or why people be mad about the blockade and stuff. She's such a sweet person. Right. She's too sweet for this world and this family.
Ain't she though? So
she says, I was happier before I was queen.
And I believe her when she was gonna marry that strong.
Yeah, and before her child was killed.
True.
So Alicent asked like, what do you think about us leaving? And Helena's like, where would I go? But just then, Aemond comes in the room, and Helaena says, time for me to hit no dusty trail. I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed. Now look, it's 3:25 in the afternoon. Joe Mathis is still on TV in the background. It's no way Helaena really wanted to go to bed. She just didn't want to fuck with Aemond.
Right.
And Aemon's in there. He's like, Helaena, I need you to hop on your dragon, baby girl. We're going to Dragonstone. We're going to Harrenhal. We burning some niggas up.
Full force. I was like, do she even remember how to ride the dragon? What is this?
And Helaena like, I don't want to fight.
Right.
And he's like, well, be that as it may, you going to have to. She's like, I ain't burning no people either.
Right. Not innocent people, no.
She said no people, not innocent. She ain't burning nobody.
Right.
Soldiers. Yeah. She don't give a fuck. She not built for that. She don't want to do it. Not on her dragon.
Right.
And Aemond grabbed her by her arm like he Ike Turner and is like, I wasn't asking.
Yes, he did.
They have defiled our birthright, and they made commoners into dragon riders. These broke niggas riding around on dragons. Get your shit. Let's go. I don't even know if Helaena got armor.
Oh, right.
Right? And so Alicent jumps in between them because now she's standing up to her fucking children. And she's like, your sister is the queen, bro. What you doing?
Right. Nobody's going to allow her to actually go out and fight like this.
And Aemon's like, as you once were, but now you see the peril in your weakness. We are in peril more today than yesterday. And he's looking crazy as hell. This ain't the like Aemond that was guiding that meeting.
It was strategic.
Yeah, from a few weeks ago where he was barely above a whisper. And Alicent is like, was it peril that made you burn down Sharp Point, or the fact that you got bitched out again? And she pries Helaena loose, and Helaena grabs her arm like, ouch. And then Alicent is like, you be fucking people up to make yourself feel strong after you get insulted, and now you want your sister to do the same evil shit because you a whole bitch, and you know she the only good person among us, and you need to be protecting her. And he was like, she need to be protecting herself. And she was like, and who gonna protect her if her mind is broken from having to fucking do war crimes and shit? And then he's like, mama, these niggas got big ass dragons. It ain't about the throne no more. It's about our lives. They trying to fucking kill us.
Right. We all gonna die. He's in straight panic mode. He not thinking rational.
Right. He like, you trying to win? She's like, not like this. Not like this. And he storms out like, oh, mom. He ran out the room. And then Alicent went to go see Lord D.I. because she needs some help. And she said, hey, can you help me get out the city secretly? And he was like, as long as don't nobody knows me, I got you. And then in the woods, we cut to like BBL Chrissy and his army headed to Harrenhal. Mm-hmm. Now I'm putting this in Dragonstone just because I don't feel like this shit need a whole section.
It don't.
Okay, so BBL Chrissy is sniffing Alicent's favor. That's that handkerchief that she gave him. That
got perfume or something on.
And he's just smelling it like some gently used panties he got off of OnlyFans. And he's just having a sniff. And then Gwayne confronts him because that's his sister. And I did say I thought Gwayne peeped when Alicent came down there to talk to BBL Chrissy, and then she pretended, oh, I came to look for you to ask you about our daddy. And I said, I think Gwayne clocked that she was looking at BBL Chrissy the whole time, just like the second or third time this shit done happened.
Right.
And so I think he been waiting. So he confronted BBL Chrissy by the fire away from the other men. But when I tell you away from the other men, I mean like 20, 30 feet. Everybody was looking at this shit.
They was staring.
Now, I saw some people trying to act like there's some type of plot hole, like nobody said nothing. You got to consider it's the hand of the king and the fucking brother of the Dowager Queen.
You're not going to interrupt that conversation.
That shit between them.
Yeah, it is.
A regular nigga is not fitting to do nothing.
Right.
If one of them kill the other one, that's just a story you tell when y'all get home if you make it through the war.
That mean whoever dies, the other one in charge, and we gonna keep doing our jobs.
Yeah, ain't like y'all, you don't have the rank to come over there and be like, hey, what the fuck? And you could hear they was yelling about him fucking the queen. There's no way they was fitting to get involved in that shit. Everybody was Lord D out of that bullshit.
I know I would have been.
So he's like, hey man, you been fucking my sister, man. What about your oath? You know, you just a regular nigga from Dawn and you fucking the queen of the Seven Kingdoms. And Chris is like, former queen, okay?
Get it right.
She's the Dowager Queen. Everyone in the background just, child, you see what I'm saying? And then Chrissy is like, look, she's single. She a grown woman. She could fuck who she want. Even if I broke my oath, she ain't break no oath. She could do what she want. And Gwayne is like, I could send your ass to the wall. And Chrissy's like, you could do that. But then what's everybody going to be talking about? How I fucked the queen. And you sent me to the wall. And it's going to fuck up the Hightower name. Because everybody going to know she was fucking the hand.
Right.
And he's like, Gwayne's like, she's my sister. And BBL Chrissy's like, your sister saved my life twice. Once from the headman's axe. Because he confessed to her, I've been fucking Rhaena, and technically that's a death sentence. And she said, I'm gonna keep your secret. And then once, when I was gonna kill myself in the garden,
yeah, he sure was. But he gonna take.
And she stopped him. So he said, ever since then, she the beacon I follow. Okay, my nose is wide the fuck open. Mm-hmm. So don't think I don't have no shame in me, sir. I'm very ashamed. Okay, I be taking your sister to Pound Town on the reg. And Gwayne's like, can't you resist it then? And he said, bruh, if I could resist these hoes, I would. These hoes ain't been nothing but trouble.
Right? That's how I got here in the first place.
My whole life fucked up behind these women.
Right.
But I can't stop. And then...
Pussy's so good.
It's too good. And then Gwayne's like, your brothers in the King Guards find a way. And he went, Chris is like, do they?
Right. And I don't blame him. Like, they might not say, they might not tell me, but do you really think some of these niggas don't go to the whorehouses?
This like when Jon Snow went to the wall, and it's like you take a vow of celibacy on the wall, and then like 2 episodes later, everybody at the wall was like, y'all trying to go to the whole house? And I was like, oh, of course. What the fuck? Well, of course they're not following that shit. So yeah, it says, look, man, if I could stop quit these hoes, I would. And I don't believe these other niggas not fucking either. Okay, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But perhaps all men are corrupt and true honor is a mist that melts in the morning. And that is a very bleak philosophy, says Gwayne. And he says, Chrissy, like, I ain't got no philosophy except this motherfucking sword to protect the righteous and dispense justice on the rest. But I mean, at this point, he can't be thinking like the people he's defending are righteous. Between Aemond and Aegon and all this shit. He know the dirt that go down in the house. And he's like, and I'm gonna be real with you, player, after that dragon battle.
Yeah, that fucked. I think that really fucked him up. And Alicent did not see that. That's why she could not understand him going, hey, dog, like, you didn't see the bullshit I seen when them dragons actually started fighting.
He like, after the dragon battle, none of this shit matter, bro. Okay, we marching towards annihilation right now.
And he understands that.
You know what's real fucked up, Gwayne? I can't wait to die. I want that sweet, sweet relief of death. Don't you think? And Gwayne, and he goes back to cleaning his sword, and Gwayne just sheathed his sword and sat next to the nigga. It fucked his brain. He was like, damn.
Right?
I wish they would have added one more line, like the end of that fucking argument in Lean on Me, where he's just like, come on, let's get something to eat. Like, I needed one more line. It's just one more line. Like, Gwayne just, cause like it was like a good argument, but it needed something else. It sounded real depressing. It was like JL talking about a stand-up album. Like, what's the point of all this shit? It don't matter to the dragons. We all gonna die anyway.
Right? We all in trouble.
We are nothing but dust beneath the dragon's feet. It's like, okay, damn, I'm sorry the album didn't come out on time. Then back at King's Landing on the balcony, Aemond comes to Helaena again at night. This time Alicent ain't around. He like, girl.
It with a much, much softer tone.
Right. Girl. You know how I was tripping a little bit earlier, but now that mama not around, what's up with hopping on our dragons and killing people? You know, we both got the same Targaryen blood. Mama don't come from that. She a high tower. She don't know about the dragon rider in us. We got to answer this insult with more insult. We got to hit outrage with outrage. Come to Harrenhal with me and let's fuck up the dragon. Let's fuck up these people. And she's like, what you gonna do if I say no? You gonna burn me like you did Aegon?
I think she's seen that in a dream.
And he said, it's a lie. And she said, I synced it.
And she had her back turned to him. I think she did. Yeah, she had her back turned to him. And you could tell the way he was looking. I was like, yeah, you know she telling the truth.
Well, she did turn around and face him when she says, I saw it. You burned him and let him fall. And he says, what you doing is treason. And, you know, she says, nigga, Aegon finna be the king again. He's yet to see victory. He sits on a wooden throne, and you gonna be dead. You were swallowed up in the God's eye, and you were never seen again. The God's eye apparently is a lake. I had to go Google that part.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't know what that meant. So, and it's a lake by Harrenhal in the center of like Westeros. Okay. So he says, I could have you killed. She says it wouldn't change a thing. And then she walks off. And that's it for King's Landing.
Yeah,
but
she was like, I'm not doing that shit.
Listen, at least he seemed shook because
he was shook.
Cause like she ain't missed with these predictions.
When he was in there looking at that throne, she came out and was like, hey, I hope you know I know.
She ain't missed with these predictions, and that's scary. All right, last location, Dragonstone. So Jace, of course, he's mad. You know what I'm saying? He been walking around scoffing at all the new dragon riders and shit because they ain't got the noble birth and all that. So he walks into the conference room and immediately gets pissed off because Oath and Hugh Hammer in there talking. Hugh was in there like, hey man, we should probably go down to the training facility and learn some more about these dragons. And Ulf like, nigga, I'm just trying to sit up here and enjoy this good food and sit at this table. He's sitting in Rhaenyra's chair with his feet on the fucking table.
Them dirty ass feet on the table.
I call him Ulf the white trash. Okay? Because this man is really bringing down the whole vibes. Okay? He's like, I've decided to be an uncouth person. I can't even pretend to have couth. And so Jace is pissed. He like, nigga, get your feet off the table. And Ulf is like, I'd rather not, because he don't even recognize Jace is the fucking prince.
Right. He don't know nobody.
He just think Jace a random nigga with a sword walking around the fucking castle.
Right.
Dressed to the fucking nines. Just the context clues alone should tell you he probably somebody
important, right? He ain't got no metal uniform on, so obviously he not nobody.
So Hugh tried to warn him. He like, Ulf, what you doing? But Jace is like, it's not up to you, Ulf. And then Ulf is like, who's it up to then, boy?
Which is an even further insult.
Yeah. And then Hugh is like, Ulf, that's the prince. That's Jace. And so now Ulf rises to his feet, tries to cut the attitude. He's like, oh shit, why you ain't say that, dog? You know me, man. I just be fucking with people and shit. You know what's going on. And so I knew Ulf was gonna be the one to fuck shit up. I knew it.
Like, he out of all of them, you was like, he gonna be the one that's gonna be a problem.
He ain't never seen a salad fork in his life. Okay.
No, he has not.
So then Jace tells him, apologize to me. And Ulf hugs him and then touches his hair without permission and says, look at that hair, dark as they say. They can't tell us we ain't some Targaryens, motherfucker. We some, you know what I'm saying? We both Targaryens. We the same. Me and you. We both bastards that was not born of high blood. You know what I'm saying? And so then Jace is getting offended. He's like, my mother is the queen, and cuss him off again like Dragon Riders. You and me, we the same, exact equals and shit. You know what I mean? I mean, you the prince, but we both the same. It's like we both princes. You know what I'm saying? So like,
he's like, no, we are not the same.
My casa, Sue Castle. You know what I'm saying, player? And Jace is not feeling this, and so Jace is like, nigga, you don't come from this. You got your dragon from the dealership yesterday. Just pulled it off the lot. And he was like, hey, Jace, stall him out, young prince, okay? He don't know no better. He not used to the manners of the court, okay? He don't know a salad fork from an aperitif. This all new to him, okay? And Jace like, he don't got no manners at all. Y'all know Aemond just burnt down Sharp Point an hour ago while y'all was sitting up in here playing footsie and shit? Yeah, shit is real in the field, playboy.
Yeah, because Jake has a no shit like that, right?
Yeah, Jace know. Jace, you know, he ready for war at all times. He want to get on the field.
Yeah, he do. He want to fight.
So he's like, so y'all ready for the smoke or y'all just sitting here chilling? You need to be downstairs looking at the fucking dragon manuals.
Right, learning the language.
Learning the controls.
Right, so y'all don't get out there and get fucked up.
You just put the game on. You think you could just pick up a controller like you've been playing NCAA all these years because you bought a PS5. You need to look through the tutorials. You're fucking up. And if you hinder our efforts through either sloth or unreadiness, I'm going to get you hanged and get your body fed to the dogs in the street like them fucking rat catchers. Now what? And Ulf is like, I ain't mean no disrespect. Hey, Hugh, you ready to go practice dragon fighting? And he's like, yep, bye. And so they left to go to the dragon orientation meeting.
All because he didn't know how to act.
He's the worst. Ulf the white trash.
And that's the thing. The black brother got to work twice as hard. Because I bet you the black brother was down there reading and studying and shit, learning that.
Adam down there figuring it out.
Yeah, he is.
So Jace is pouting in his room later. Baylor comes in, his wife, cousin, and she like, stop acting like a little bitch. And he's like, but I'm just reading. I'm not pouting. She's like, nigga, you pouting. And he's like, well, if anyone can ride a dragon, then what makes me, what does that make me? And she's like, the prince. Act like it. You think you the first noble heir that's not sired by a noble father?
Right.
This is Westeros. This just how it goes. You gotta fake it till you make it.
Ain't that the truth?
And he's like, well, it's easier said than done. They been calling me a bastard my whole life. She's like, then go out there and show them you worthy of being at your mama's side.
Right. Don't just fucking pout and complain.
Right. Are you him or are you not him? Be him. So then they go to dinner. Ulf is acting ghetto again. He chewing with his mouth open, flirting with the waitstaff. You know, Dragon Rider take a lot out of you.
Hey, can I get some more duck? Can I get some more? Fill up my all rude and shit. I was like, damn, dog.
Now look, I love a good rotisserie chicken or whatever them look. He called them little chickens, so I don't know if they was Cornish hens or what.
Yeah.
Them joints do be good, but he was pressed for them chickens, and it reminded me of how when they had the goats going to Vagar in the city, and he was in the city talking about, where's my meat? We want meat. So he really meant that meat shit. He riding this out. He getting chickens now. So he's like, let me get some more chickens. Let me get another order of chickens, please. And Ray's like, oh, toast to the new riders. Now, Ray is dressed to the nines. She got her dragon dress on. She wearing a crown at dinner. She trying to make this like a real regal formal thing.
Yes.
Jace looks annoyed because she toasted the new riders. He like, what about the old riders? She like, shut up, boy. And Bayless notices this too. But then Ray says, hey, y'all play your cards right. Serve me well. I'm gonna make y'all knights of the realm. And Ulf is like, what do you think of that, boys? She gonna make us knights, just like that. And Adam is like, we won't fail you, man, your grace. And then Hugh is like, what must we do? And cause they serious, they not fucking around. And Ray is like, in 2 days time, we gonna kill a bunch of innocent people. It's time for the war crimes. We going to King's Landing, Lannisport, and Old Town. Burn them innocent motherfuckers to the ground. That's what we do. Team Black all day. Bum, bum, bum. Everybody loves us. We can do that. We're not evil.
Right.
And then Baylor's like, you want us to kill innocents? And Jace is like, if that's what we gotta do, that's what we gotta do.
It is what it is, dog.
You want me to act like a prince?
Right, because he ready to roll.
And Ray says, we got to break the will of the enemy. Adam's like, what about Vagar? And she's like, Vagar's fierce, but Vagar's just one dragon. And we got a mad dragon, son. And Ulf is like, I take Vagar out by myself. Silverwing a fighter. We ain't scared of nothing. I'm fitting to be ghost riding Silverwing and fucking doing tricks and shit.
He gonna be the first nigga dead.
And Adam is like, it's gonna be plenty of, and then Ulf noticed that Adam had asked about Vagar. He's like, I mean, I ain't scared. Like, Adam's scared. And Adam like, it's gonna be plenty of time to see who's scared, motherfucker. Mm-hmm. And then Ulf is like, anyway, can I get some more wings? What's going on with these chickens?
Yeah, he talking that shit, and Adam was like, "Nigga, I'm reading the book. I'm learning.
Right.
Like I know
you don't even know how to put your dragon in reverse.
Right, you out here fucking around, and I'm gonna be giving goddamn commands."
So Ray says a knight will comport himself with grace at the queen's table, and then this motherfucker off the white trash is like, "Better make me a knight then." And that was when Baylor like got annoyed by it too, and that was when Jay said, you forget yourself, friend. But the friend meant nigga.
Yes, it did.
He said it that way.
And the way he was talking to Rhaenyra, the knights in the background, one of them was like, hey, dog, they started unsheathed this shit like, hey.
One of them grabbed their sword like, who the fuck he think he talking to?
Right.
So then Ulf is like, I just be playing that to get you, man. And Ray gets a message at that time from Harrenhal, from Sir Simon Strong, snitching on Daemon. And she tells Adam, come with me, we going to Harrenhal. Jace is mad because she left him behind. But like, she clearly took the other, like the dude she could trust with the biggest dragon.
Because she wanted to be intimidating because he didn't do nothing.
Right, so she took Adam with her, and he's also the most loyal, right? Mm-hmm. Jace dragon too small, so I think that's why she didn't take him. And of course, if there's a battle and they both die, that's the end of the succession.
Ain't it though?
So Ulf was like, anyway, more chicken wings for me. Bye, everybody. And he finally got that meat. Then I told you
the staff don't like Ulf. They're like, that nigga, he be hollering at me and shit.
Absolutely, yeah. He definitely think all the women at Hooters want to fuck. Like he one of those guys.
Yes, he does.
Misaria and Ray stand on the balcony watching the dragons fly, and Misaria's like, hey, because we already told y'all what happened at Harrenhal. So Misaria's like, hey, Queen, you done came up. Okay, you did what else nobody thought could do. You got rewarded. The gods favor you. The victory is in your hands. All you gotta do is strike. And Ray's like, yeah, but striking mean killing a lot of innocent people. I don't think my daddy would have wanted this. And Misaria, surprisingly to me, because she's very 99% small folk, all this shit. But in this case, she like, it's not your fault. Your daddy left you with all this mess. And you got to see it through because you got to keep the power out of the people hands that want power more than they want peace. And Ray says, and who pays the price? Now, once again, this is one of those repeating of something we already know about, but it was getting late in the episode and I'm realizing, they not going to have no battle. So I'm like, okay. Later in her room, Ray is asleep. Knock comes at her door. It awakes her. You got a visitor. It's Alicent. So when Alicent asked Lord DEI to sneak her out the city, she meant so she could sneak into Dragonstone to meet with Rhaena. And Alicent shows up and Ray's like, what you want? She's like, girl, my bad. Shit. Woo! Okay. Things went a little off went a little crazy there. And now I'm glad that we can work this out, you know. It's
man, look, I hear you. It's funny to me too. I mean, it's strange to me too.
So she like, I was raised to believe it was an order to things and follows tradition and the security and traditions, and I hated that when we was kids you was out here being all free and shit and I just did what people expected me to do. And Ray is like, ho, why is you here?
Yes, ho, why is you here? Because I went to go see you and you told me it is what it is and get the fuck out your face. So why are you showing up at my front doorstep?
And Alicent is like, I lost my way, or rather it was taken from me. I put my faith in my father, my lover, my son. And Ray said, oh, slow down, rewind. Lover? Not the incorruptible queen getting some side dick. Nah, not after what you said. Now I'm like, if only you knew there was some hand-me-down side dick. Ray could have really stunned on her a little bit further, but she ain't know it was BBL Christian.
She didn't know.
But if she would have known,
yeah, she'd have really had something to say.
She would have really went in. And Alicent was like, don't judge me for the same shit you did. You know mama gotta have a life too. And then Ray's like, but you made your virtue your banner.
Yes, you did, and shamed me.
Right. And Alicent said, yeah, but I did that to spite you. I've been alone of late. I left the city. I listened to cranes in the sky. And I realized I would like to just be free of all this fucking Game of Thrones bullshit. This crazy. I don't even care like that. And I'm like, yeah, because you ain't in power no more.
Yep, because
you ain't got a seat at the table.
You ain't in power no more.
And so then Ray assumes Alicent will want the throne for herself. She's like, so what you want? You want to come back in, take the throne? And Alicent like, no, I want to take my daughter and my grandbaby and get the fuck out of town. You can have all this shit. And Ray is like, girl, it is season 2, episode 8. It is too late.
We is not doing this bullshit.
People died, cities done got burnt, girl. You can't just motherfucking ollie oxen free. It's some more death need to happen. And Alicent like, how you gonna blame me? Your rule would have been challenged no matter what. And Ray was like, but you the nigga who challenged it.
Right. And
what you talking about?
And put your son on the throne.
Right. You did it. What you talking about?
Right.
But somebody would have did it if it wasn't me. But it was you. Fuck you talking about?
And that matters. It was you.
And Alicent's like, I just did what your daddy wanted. And Ray is like, well, then go.
Yeah, you wasting everybody's time.
Wander in the wilderness, do whatever fuck, get your daughter. What you want from me?
Right. What's the point of this conversation?
She's like, you looking for absolution from me? And Alicent's like, she stopped. She paused a long time because they was acting. They clearly wrote this because they were like, we want to submit this to the Emmy knobs. So Alicent is like, your daddy never stopped loving your mama. That's why he never changed his choice of you being the heir. And Ray says, and you believe that the end he wavered? And that's why you said it was your son? Fuck are you doing here? And Alicent says, when Aemond leaves to join Cole in the Riverlands so they can have that battle, Helaena gonna get left behind as the queen. She gonna be on the throne for a little bit. I'm gonna have Helaena surrender the castle, leave the gates open. You come in, take the throne, end the war.
That's not how that works. She still want to be peaceful about the bullshit, and that's not gonna happen.
Ray said, you know that ain't enough, girl. I got to kill Aegon too.
Right, because as long as he's out there, it's going to be a motherfucking problem.
And I got to kill him in front of everybody. And Alicent like, but ain't he already fucked up enough? He laying in the dark in his room in pain and terror, and I could probably convince him to bend the knee. And Ray's like, nah, you still trying to defend him, homie. He got to die. And he got to die publicly. Everybody got to see me kill him. And you know this. Why you coming here bullshit? Choose.
Right. Why are you bullshitting?
And Alicent just keep having these long pauses, and Ray's like, will you shrink from what you set out to do and make your sacrifice? A son for a son, which is the title of episode 1 of season 8. Okay, so she brought it full circle.
Yeah, and I believe her, because you had a fucking fit when his eye got fucked up, and you took that knife and was charging at me, made a whole big ass scene, sliced me. You showed your whole entire ass, and you act like I'm supposed to fucking forget? No, bitch.
So she's like, a son for a son. And Alicent's long pause again, and then she finally is like, you right. Let me go to the Red Keep. In 3 days, show up. You can have the throne. Kill my son. Who gives a fuck? I barely love them niggas anyway. And so Ray is like, history gonna paint you as a villain, a cold queen grasping for power and then defeated because you got kicked out the table and then you gave away the house. And Alicent like, let them think what they want. I just want to go back to being a regular degular ass woman. I'm tired of this shit. And
that's because you don't have no power, and how do I know I can trust you, bitch?
Ray is like, you speak as if from a distant dream. And Alicent said, come with me. Come on back to the shit with me. And Ray is like, no, I gotta be here whether I want to or not. It's been decided for me a long time ago. Go on, get out of here.
Right. You're wasting time. Why did you show up here? Why is you here?
But the other thing is, she is like, go do your plan. Like, she's not just saying get the fuck out. She's like, go fucking initiate, plan, stand down, surrender. Like, so I didn't get the feeling that Alicent was leaving it because she was like, well, I guess I'm not going to do it. It was like, all right, well, go do what you said you're going to do. So Alicent we get a montage to end the season with the sweeping music and all this shit. And we get the dragon riders getting fitted for their armor, the new ones. Rhaena finally running up on that dragon that eats all the fucking animals and shit in the Vale. Alicent walking out of Dragonstone, soldiers marching with the Hightower Bander and the Darren's dragon. Darren, the character we have not met, who is Alicent's youngest son, who is living with the Hightowers. He is flying his dragon above the army, so it's taking the wing. It is, probably able to battle, but not battle big dragons.
Right.
We get the cat daddies of Winterfell crossing the bridge at the twins.
They finally got to that bridge, didn't they?
Right. Just a bunch of gray beards and fucking, Kango hats and shit.
Yeah, and my thing is, I don't know how long they're gonna last, but them cat daddies gonna fuck some shit up. They were like, we got this old man strength, and we come here to fuck it up.
I know that bridge was smelling like Tiger Bomb.
You know it was, and Bengay.
Then we get the Lannisters marching towards Harrenhal as they arrive in the Riverlands. Daemon overlooking his army with a vast army with tents, wearing full armor. Tyland on the deck of that ship with Lohar beside him. Alyn and Corlys preparing to sail on the Queen who never was, and not looking like they not speaking to each other. And Otto Hightower this is the big shocker. He's in a cage somewhere. Someone with a torch is walking towards him, as if to like, I don't know, either check on him, but he's been captured somewhere.
Yes.
Which I don't know. Did he ever leave King's Landing?
That's a great question.
Does Larys have him? Because they told Larys to go find him.
You never fucking know, because Larys is such a snake in the grass.
Right.
He might have found him and trapped him. And you know what? Not trying funny. That would answer the question: why the fuck nobody has heard from him?
And Larys does have a history of keeping those people locked in cages and shit. We saw that in season 1. So I have so many questions about that, but they thought rather than give us 20 minutes of that in this episode, let's watch people fight in the mud. And Aegon and Larys sneak out of King's Landing, headed to Bravos, I assume. They're hidden in like a cave, like a cart with birds in it.
I'm surprised he agreed to leave.
I am not surprised. I think once he told him that Aegon, the conqueror, Aegon, the this, that, and the other, gave him that drink.
Okay.
I think he was like, oh, people might like me again? Shit, let's do it.
Whatever it takes, right?
And then we get, the final shot is the most poetic shot. Alicent stands looking out at the water, standing on a cliff. I don't think it was like she's gonna jump. I think it was I just want to be free. She said she wanted to breathe free air and shit. And then we get a picture of Ray, and the way it's framed is from behind, and we see like all those scrolls with all the vast histories and tapestries in them surrounding her is almost like a prison. Like she's locked into this historical place of having to do certain actions in order to like live up to the conqueror's dream. And so it's more of a prison. It's more of a box, not really this freedom of being the ruler. And I thought that was an interesting framing. And that was the final, that was the end. The one thing I will say about this episode, because I think most people are probably on the same page as us, where it's like, this was a weird ending.
Yes.
But let me say this, in all fairness to the creators, there is a poetic symmetry to this ending that I don't think people are giving it credit for, because everyone's so mad. And I get why they're mad. I kind of am mad. But a son for a son, that poetic ending, of this season, starting with Luke gets killed on that dragon, and ending kind of with, and now you owe me Aegon's head. There's poetic meaning to Alicent and Rhaenyra having another clandestine meeting in secret that, we saw it in the Sept, and now we see it in Dragonstone. At the heart, the friendship and the bond these two women had being kind of the crux of all this shit being fucked up. And even like getting Daemon back and that relationship and all that stuff, like there's some poetic symmetry here that doesn't necessarily plot wise feel satisfactory, but I think if you think about it abstractly, there's like, oh, this is a good stopping off point in that it resets the table in some poetic ways of these characters went through an arc. They have been changed by this arc, and this is where we are now, ready to start anew. So I did want to say that to their credit, because I do think, I don't want our show to ever just be like, we shit on shows we review because we're snarky, because I think a lot of shows do that, and I don't like that vibe, and I never wanted it for our show. So I have to give them some credit.
Yeah, and overall, I actually enjoyed it. Like I said, it was just one of those things where I think this ending would have been fitting if we didn't have to wait 2 years. If it was something where you do this and maybe it's a year, I would have been like, okay, y'all just preparing me.
The thing is, I'll be back.
I will be, yes.
So, what can I say? I will be back. I do love this world. I do love this show. It's not enough for me to and I think there's a unspoken part of the Game of Thrones fan base that a lot of them like being mad about the show, and I try to keep our show better vibes than that. Yes. But we got to be honest too. So I'm never gonna lie and be like, I loved it when I didn't, but at the same time, it's been, it's like a fun time.
And they know me, they got me. I'll be back, and I'm looking forward to, because the way they ended, I was like, oh shit, it's gonna be a lot of shit happening next season. Let's go.
Yeah, if anything, We just wanted them 2 more episodes. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. If we're being real, which is not a bad place to be as a show.
Right. You rather have that than the opposite. Agreed.
And they're set up to start off the next season with a bang because this shit went out with a whimper, which means a bang is coming. So, all right, y'all. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back Saturday for feedback. We're doing the Ballsy Sports Thursday. So until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Have a